So we are a part of disaster management, and the subject is emergency and supply chain management. The topic here is resilience in supply chain management. So, what is resilience? Resilience is basically that your supply chain management gets back after any disruption. Suppose um, you supply PPE kits and there is an earthquake. Before the earthquake, the supply chain was very smooth, but after the earthquake, the supply chain it disrupts, and so these disruptions should be small, and when it comes back means here, so this is your resilience, means your ability to bounce back. There is a concept of the resilience triangle. So what is this? Basically, on y-axis this is severity, x-axis is the time. So this is the total recovery time. Suppose that on 24th August there is a disruption, and this is the amount of the severity from 24th August to 24th December. 4 months is this time. So this is the recovery time. You recovered means there is no earthquake and everything has come back to normalcy. So ideally this triangle should be as small as possible. This should be very much small. It means that your supply chain management is resilient. Suppose your supply chain management is not resilient, then what to do? Then there are the three things are to be carried out. First one is the redundancy. Second is corporate culture. And third is flexibility. See, in these two, your supply chain should be flexible. This two has many common points. That this is the corporate culture, and we have to in corporate culture there should be communication between the employees. Okay, and in this the flexibility that it should be not rigid, means if any disaster comes, so you have to supply biscuits. You supply biscuits. So after the disaster, after the heavy rainfall or the flood, you should be able to again supply the biscuits, either 10 packets or 12 packets, and before the disaster you could supply 20 packets. Still that should be flexible. Other components are supply chain visibility. Supply chain visibility, what comes in this? Here the changes should be visible. Means your supply chain should be visible, so that if there are changes, then that can be rectified or actions can be taken more quickly. Then is information sharing. All the stakeholders in your supply chain, for example, your storage, your warehousing, your transportation, all these people, they should have proper information that what is carrying out, how they are storing, and what happens to the next step. There should be no hidden agenda. Otherwise, this will be in shadow, and the other actors can get losses due to it. Then comes the supply chain agility. What comes here? That how responsive you are. How are your responses? Suppose there is COVID and we hear Atmanirbhar Bharat. So this disaster has been used as an opportunity for the market of production of any component you take. First, this before that it was imported. Now we are trying to export that. So we have used this opportunity of the disaster. Of the disaster is COVID for our own benefits. Then next is collaboration among players. What comes here? All your actors, there should be collaborations. Your logisticians, your suppliers, your providers. This and this collaboration depends on the information. Means if you are hiding something, means this A is hiding from B, then they will not have good relations. But if this guy is having sharing information with this, then these both have good relations with him. Next is risk and revenue sharing. Means we hear that in business profits and losses are shared. Similarly, risks are also shared. So the actors should share their risk. But this is very there is a dilemma. How can the person share their risk? But they should not ideally share their risk. But for their profit, we always hear that people are sharing risk. Means either hiding the risk and then passing on. Then is supply chain structure. See, when there is a disaster, then it creates a lot of waste. So this waste has to be thrown away. Thrown away or settled. How you settle, that's your problem. That's your thing. So in this way, the supply chain should be made resilient. So what things we saw? The supply chain structure, risk and revenue supply chain, sharing of the risk, collaboration means make, having trust, supply chain agility, you are how responsive you are, information sharing, you have to share the information, supply chain visibility, your chain should be visible. This is the resilience triangle. Okay, this is the your time component, and this is the severity component. And and these are the definitions of the resilience. Resilience is bouncing back, absorbing shocks, and absorbing shocks. Okay, so thank you.